Good morning. Let's see if I can figure this out here. Good morning.
Did you find a spot?
I sort of did. We got too much ammo here.
Good enough. Too much ammo.
Yeah, you guys need to
You're
come
right.
buy ammo.
Too much ammo. Come and buy it.
I don't have room for the camera. Good freaking morning.
Hi.
What?
Good morning. What? I was
Were you looking
at
all-
the ammo.
Oh.
I was like, what kind of ammo are we in the midst of? Some 10 mil.
Really? No. 4.6.
Yeah, by 30. But then there's 10 mil everywhere else. So it's
No. I don't know, a little weird.
anyway.
But anyway, good morning. Gordon, good morning. Dennis, good freaking morning. Ritz, good morning. What are we talking about today, Miss Elizabeth?
What did you end up titling it?
I don't know. I just started typing stuff as I was walking down the hall. We got to be fast today. We got to be
There you
fast because we have stuff going on this morning. At we got to get doors open at 8:30.
Okay. All right. So I don't know what you called it, but
I don't even remember what I called it, truthfully, but about being a more well-rounded self-defender, self-responder,
yeah.
that sort of thing. Obviously, being where we are, most people think about this tool, the gun. What I'm talking about. There. As soon as I did that, I was like, "That's bad."
I didn't even catch it.
That's
it was like, whoop. We had
bad.
It's Monday.
Oh my goodness! I had a joke.
The joke?
A joke, yes.
Okay.
That it was innuendo about something. I don't even remember what the hell it was. And Vinny spun around. And he was like, "But why would you do that or whatever?" And I was like, "Vinny." Oh no!
Vinny
I
didn't
remember
catch an innuendo.
Dude, it was so funny. It was like, so. I know what it was. Is one of his students called his holster a junk holster.
Oh no!
And so Vinny was all spun up. He's like, "This is a nice holster. It's well made." I'm like, "Vinny, he's not talking about the quality of the holster." He's like, "No, I'm just saying. Like, this is a good holster and it works really good." And I'm like, "Vinny, junk holster." He's like, "I know, that's what he said." And he's going on and on. And I'm like, "Vinny, the holster's right next to your junk." He's like, "Oh, I totally missed that."
I wish I could have been there.
It
That's hilarious.
was fantastic.
That's
I think that was on Saturday morning, I don't know. But it was great. It went right over his head. And he was so spun up that he couldn't. And then when he finally got it, he was like, "Oh."
That's hilarious.
Damn,
I gotta
I
give
missed
him
that
trouble for that one. But as much as they go over my head.
Gordon, that's what we're here for. TMI. Kim, good morning.
Good morning.
All right. So, what complements the gun, right, in your self-defense world? We talk about hand-to-hand stuff a fair amount. Speaking of which, have you gotten a response from Coach?
I don't think so.
We have
Yes, I did. 40.
Okay, so we have a couple of spots left. We have coming up in a couple weeks. What's the details? I didn't bring the sheet. I put the sheet on your desk, so it would be your responsibility, and you forgot it.
Our Gracie self-defense workshop that we've done many times now, and it gets bigger and bigger each time because more people are experiencing it, loving it, and telling their friends. So many people are coming back, which is even more awesome. So it's scheduled for August 30th, which is a Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. And it's at Gracie, Baja down the street, West County, in the plaza with Hobby Lobby on Manchester. All those details will go out if you sign up or want to sign up. Came in after this weekend. I was off all weekend, which was rare, but I got in and looked at the signups for...
Well, first she asked me, she said, "Hey, we need to talk about Gracie on the live this morning." I said, "Yep, we're going to talk about it." She said, "I haven't looked in a little while. I don't know how many people are signed up." I'm like, "I haven't noticed any. I don't know if anybody's signed up." And then she's doing her thing, and she looks up, she's like, we have like, how many do we have?
Almost 30.
Yeah, 30 people signed up.
In
now.
like just less than a week. So,
we had to hurry up and text Coach and be like, "Hey, how many can we take?"
Yeah.
So we have a couple of spots left. So
sign
ladies,
up now.
yes.
Sign up
If you want information on it or you want to be able to sign up, just shoot us an email, training@therangestl.com, and ask about the women's self-defense clinic that we have coming up. That is one aspect of being a good self-defender, is understanding how to use your hands and being able to use, not just solely rely on the firearm.
Can I say something real quick
Sure.
about that? Especially as a woman, boundaries are hard to enforce, and jiu-jitsu allows you to have boundaries that you're willing to enforce. A gun is a hard boundary to enforce, really hard one, especially also considering that a lot of women are hurt by people that they know, and the gun adds a whole nother level of complexity to enforcing a boundary like that. And there is substantial value in jiu-jitsu or similar skills to be able to have additional boundaries that you're willing to enforce, you're good at enforcing, and knowing that you can apply that boundary without death. Okay, so it's, there's we talk often about the intermediate weapons too, like OC spray, flashlights, other defensive tools. Those are all great things to consider as well, because you have to consider what boundary are you willing to enforce. You have to answer the question of, you visualize a situation, and it's not always calling for a gun. Maybe someone slaps your ass. That does not call for a gun. So there's things within there that you need to be mindful of, and I think that has done a huge thing for me, is to fill in that gap and to allow me to have a boundary setting technique that doesn't involve deadly force. So,
along with it being a great defensive skill to have, it falls right in line with what we want to talk about today, which can be a tough topic.
Sure.
But is your own physical fitness, right? That is a huge part of being a self-defender, self-responder. Fighting is hard, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
we often hear, and this is very common in our world. Thankfully, not a ton here. I've definitely heard it, and I'm sure you've heard it. Like, well, if this happens, I'll just shoot him. If this happens, I'll just shoot him. Well,
yeah.
Like you just talked about, that's not that simple.
No.
Not every situation calls for that. Maybe you do end up in a physical fight. They can be freaking exhausting.
Yes.
Or just simply trying to run away. There's nothing wrong with running away. Nothing wrong with running away. But you need to be able to do it. And this doesn't mean, let's just say you're, to put it nicely, just you're overweight. You're bigger than what you want to be. This doesn't mean you have to try to drop a bazillion pounds or anything, but you need to start the process of just paying attention to what you're doing, what you're eating, getting some sort of exercise. If that exercise can be something like jiu-jitsu, awesome. If that exercise is going for a walk around the block, awesome. Doesn't really matter what it is, but get out, keep moving. Right? Liz and I were having a conversation, I think it was last week, maybe it was the week before, I don't know, about some little video that I saw recently where somebody said, here's the choices, right? Eating healthy is hard. Working out is hard. Getting up and doing things is hard. So is getting your ass off the couch when you're way overweight and you've got some age on you, right? Maybe you're overweight and you're younger and you can manage it, but then as you age, that gets more difficult. So that becomes hard. Walking upstairs can become hard. So you're gonna have hard things to do at some point. Mm-hmm. You just get to choose when those are.
Absolutely. If you don't take care of your wellness now, you'll be forced to deal with your illness later. And it's true. And that's not just to say that, the overweight aspect is the only part, because that's often what we think about when we think of unhealthy. But I know that when I first started, hitting things, striking things, it was very enlightening to me how weak my wrists are. And, like just being able to grab something or move something around with any sort of urgency. If I needed to grab my kid's arm and fling him across the parking lot because someone is running after us or something, or I needed to take care of something and I needed to move my child, I need strength for that. And, you know, if I need to get back up off of the ground, if I need to run up those steps, if I need to run down those steps, or whatever the case is, my ability to have the strength to do it, and just to understand how my body moves in that way is also huge too. That this involves just walking up and down steps a couple extra times, or taking the steps instead of the elevator, using your body in all the ways that we're supposed to use them. We went to the zoo this weekend, and my 5-year-old was just jumping all over everything, the benches and the rocks and the this and the that, and he was dang near doing somersaults everywhere, and he's Spider-Man. But my 15-year-old it's like, Ben, why do you have to do all that? Why are you all over the place and yada yada? And I said, you did that exact same thing, because children understand like how important it is to use our bodies like that. And, you know, even if you're not going in strength training, or you're not doing cardio, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, do some stretches, get up and circle your neck around. If you sit at a desk all day, I mean, like, take little steps, and every little step can build on each other. You don't have to do anything crazy. Your lifestyle is different than, you know, the next person, but do something to continue that growth, and I promise it'll start to build, and you'll keep going.
Incremental improvements.
Absolutely. Right.
This doesn't mean we're trying to shoot for anybody to be on the cover of a fitness magazine. If that's what your goal is and that's what you want to do, then
freaking nail it. Absolutely.
Go knock it out. But it's about knowing where our deficiencies are and that we can be better. Something I just thought about is, yesterday, your family and my family went out for a hike. What if we try to do something like that?
That'd be awesome.
We just say, hey,
so cool.
On this day at this time, we're going to go here. Maybe you don't ever get in the outdoors. You don't ever go splash around in a creek or go hike. Castlewood is right down the street from us. It is a super busy park, but it's gorgeous.
That was awesome. I'd never been there before. It was beautiful.
Maybe we should try to do that sometime.
Should do it.
We just post up a day, say, hey, on this day at this time, we're going to be there. If you want to show up, and let's go wander through the trails together.
100%. Let's do it. Good morning, Mom.
I can see that evolving into
all
some
kinds
part of the
things.
group goes this way, some part of the group goes that way, right? Easier trails, harder trails. Maybe some people bring bikes and grill. We could rent a pavilion. We're going to start small. We'll start at some point, and I'm saying it on here, so you guys got to hold me accountable to it. Jim, good freaking morning. That we'll just sometime in the relatively near future, we'll post up a date that just says, hey, we're going to be at this park at this time.
Oh yeah.
Meet us there. Let's go for a hike.
We'll have to do it very soon before it gets too cold, but that's
not too cold.
Oh, right. Polar bears. Sorry. Yeah.
Doesn't get too cold. But it is a very big part of your own self-preservation that I would love for people to take more seriously. Like I said, that might mean going to get in a gym membership. That might not. That maybe you already walk every day, or you go for runs or whatever. What else do you need to be stronger? You need to go to the gym and lift weights. What do you want to do? What
about eating right? Like, the fuel that you put in your body is important too. And again, this doesn't even have to do with the weight thing. It's just feeding your body good things to make your brain and your body work better. So when I came back from vacation, I was a slug for like 4 days as my body was getting all that crap out that I just overloaded myself with over the weekend. And I reflected back before I was trying my best to eat well. Guys, I'm not perfect. Yeah. Nobody is. And you have to find a lifestyle that doesn't limit you to this super restrictive diet. You know, it's like, you have to change it up a little bit. You have to understand that life is tricky that way, but have some sense of growth and that understanding that the food is important, your movement is important, and just your ability to continue is important. Just take little steps, just little stuff. You know, if you start feeding yourself better, it's not just the weight. You will feel better. Your brain works better. You can think more clearly. You are less reactive to things. Your ego is much better. Your emotions are more in control. When you overload with sugar and carbs and all kinds of stuff, that it just gets your brain wanting more of that, and then you get hangry. We all know what hangry is. you can experience that on such a normal basis you don't even realize.
Yeah.
But when you start eating well and start having this sense of like, okay, I want to do right by me, it changes so much. It does.
It was interesting to me, whatever it was, a year ago when I decided to start down that journey a little bit of just trying to watch what I put in my face, when I was on vacation, same type of thing. Like, you go to all these places and get all these great desserts and cookies and candies and whatever. And when you've kind of held off of that stuff for a little while, then you have it. It's delicious. I like salty or sweet stuff and salty stuff. But then you realize all of a sudden, like, I had this one little thing, and if that one little thing was a piece of beef jerky, I would feel fine and I wouldn't really care about anything else. But because that one little thing was a piece of candy or half of a cookie, and I'm like, well, it's only another half, I'm just going to take that one too.
Yeah.
Like, all of a sudden you realize how much of a drug that is.
It is. It's
so
addictive.
crazy.
And and also, once you give yourself a little time to let your body realize that stuff's poison, you can make the decision then. Once you get to a happy medium and you're like, all right, I understand that when I eat that cookie, it makes me feel this way. And I'm not saying feeling as in emotions. I'm saying feeling as in like a real,
Physical reaction.
I feel bloated, I feel slower, I feel just bleh. And when you
was that last one?
Bleh, when you realize what it does, then you can actually make that decision in the moment much better, because you know you're going to sacrifice something. You can sacrifice the joy of having that sugar in the moment for your ability to go on that hike later, or just to enjoy sitting on your couch if you want to. You just feel better doing it. But you can make a better decision once you start to understand what it feels like. So it's a whole nother world. So
it is, and it is a big part of being a good self-protector. And again, I like Liz has brought up a couple of times, like, it's not just about the weight, and that's very true.
Yeah.
Very true. It's about being healthy. The weight matters to a degree, but only kind of on extreme ends, either end. I have a family member who is very thin, probably underweight, if underweight, not by much, but she has no cardiovascular whatsoever. She can't hardly walk down the street without getting winded. It has nothing to do with her weight. It's just that she likes to sit and not do anything.
yeah.
And that's not healthy either. So that's all we want this to really be, is just a little kick in the pants to get outside and do something. Hopefully it's motivation to go ride your bike, or go kayaking, or go skydiving, or little things, no big deal. Just to get up, get outside, do something. Think about the things that you're doing that help you shoot better. You try to make yourself better that way. Think about the things you do to make yourself better in your job. This is part of it, being a good protector. And that's what most people in this world, not everybody that's in this world is into. Some people are here just simply for recreation, and that's okay. But if you really consider yourself a self-protector, you carry a firearm on you, you carry pepper spray, you've learned some hand-to-hand stuff, you obviously are trying to embrace the lifestyle. Embrace it. This is just another thing to work on. And I know it's a lot.
It is. Like, it's a big ask. We're saying this not to give you criticism.
Nope.
If you feel that way. We're saying it is, we've struggled through this process too, and if you want someone to help you through it, we're here, because it's not easy. We recognize that. Just like shooting a gun is not easy, and this learning process, we want to help people grow into awesome individuals. We want you to grow into whatever makes you happy for your lifestyle. We live very different lifestyles. So what makes me happy, or you happy, or John happy, or whoever happy, and live a healthy life is completely different than yours. But if you want to come in and pick our brain, or if you want to chat about it on our hike when we go to Castlewood, or when we go have pancakes in GOP,
we have gravy over pancakes.
It's a whole big thing, and it's not just.
We gotta schedule that
this.
too.
I know it's on my to-do list.
Okay. I opened mine this morning to add something.
Danger.
Holy crap! I've got a lot of stuff on there for today.
Danger.
And
Me too.
Boy,
So,
looking forward to today.
and one other thing real quick, because again, to bring light to the weight aspect, it's not about that. You know, something else you could consider is, you know, just sitting at a desk all day and the issues that it plays on your spine and your just sitting there very long. Just work on your posture. You know, Johnny was talking about the other day, you know, some of the newer people that come to jiu-jitsu, and when they, I don't know, you know, when you're doing something and it brings your spine off of alignment, sometimes people will make comments that they get dizzy or lightheaded. And a lot of that's because your neck has no like normal movement in it. A lot of times we're just down like this, or we're sitting at a desk and we got our neck forward and everything's just all out of alignment, and it doesn't do well for our structure as we continue on as a bipedal creature that's supposed to be walking everywhere. So
Is that your word for the day?
Uh-huh.
You got to say that. You got to use that word like in 5 more sentences today.
Bet.
Okay. You gonna use it in class this morning?
I'm gonna try.
Okay.
So yeah, if you want encouragement, reach out, because we'll encourage you whatever freaking way that you need to. It doesn't matter, as long as you're trying to be better than the person you were yesterday. That's it. That's it.
Simple. Just improve everything.
Yeah.
All the time.
Just
No big deal.
okay. Hold on. There's this. I'm gonna try to remember it correctly so I don't mess it up. There's.
Too late.
Yeah, probably. Dang it. I don't know. I'm gonna make something up
you
to
got a
try
couple
to.
minutes.
I'm gonna try to make something up to make it sound right. All right. So no, it's not even gonna sound right. Dang it.
Well, you got to give it an effort now.
All right. Well, here goes my effort. This sounds silly. There's a horse and a mouse. Horse is up here. Mouse is down here. They approach this cornfield, and the mouse says, I can't go in there. I have no idea where I'm going. And the horse is up here and can see where to go. But the horse just says, hey, just take one step at a time. And you'll get through it eventually. Just one step at a time. Because he can see the light. We can see the light, guys. Just take one little step at a time and you'll get through the cornfield.
If you ever need to get through a cornfield,
Hey,
there you go.
I mean, I
let me-
went through some cornfields in my life, but
let me tell you a very, very similar story that happened to me. This is when I was in Marine Corps boot camp, and we were on a hike, and I was struggling. One of the other guys I was with was really struggling, so a couple of us divvied up his equipment and were carrying it. And I honestly don't even remember what I was carrying of his, but I was carrying it in my arms, right? So it wasn't even in my pack anymore, and my arms were getting exhausted, and so on and so forth. And this chaplain, which is like a spiritual leader, he's out on the hike with us as well, and he comes up to me and he's like, hey, are you having a hard time? This is tough work, yada, yada. And, you know, in boot camp, the drill instructors don't talk to you very nicely. So this person came up and started talking to me nicely, and I was very confused for a second. But he said something to me that I tell people all the time, is he said, you can always take one more step.
yes.
You can always take one more step. And that's all you have to think about, is moving your right foot from the back to the front, and then your left foot from the back to the front. Just one step at a time. Don't look up and see this gigantic hill and all this stuff and all the other people that are struggling around you. Just think about, how do I move my right foot from the back to the front? And then how do I move my left foot from the back to the front? And that's stuck with me forever, that when I am struggling, when I go and ride my bike and we're out on this course and there's all these hills and I look and see this hill coming, or I have this super awesome computer on my bike that says, hey, there's a big freaking hill coming, and it beeps at you and it flashes red and all this stuff.
Why?
And I'm like, because it's to warn you that you need to get in the right gear and all this stuff. Anyway, I see that and I'm like, oh crap. But it's really as simple as just, in this case, push. Just one more push. Just one more push. Just one more. And you get there.
Yeah.
Maybe not as fast as you want. Maybe you have to take a breath. You have to stop and take a break for a second, but you get there one step at a time.
Yeah.
And
Heck yeah.
it's kind of awesome that those stories were, I mean,
Yeah,
I
it
guess
worked
I was
out
a
great.
mouse.
But there's an underlying moral there, and I think that your story complements my terrible rendition of it very well.
All right.
We gotta
hate
go.
to-
Yeah,
to
we gotta go.
Cut it so short, but we gotta go. We are.
See you later.
We are late. So
We got ladies this morning.
1403 Manchester Road in where?
Beautiful downtown Baldwin.
Beautiful.
Is that what you say?
1403 Manchester Road in beautiful downtown Baldwin. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 8, Saturday 9 to 6, Sunday 10 to 6. If you guys need something, come see us. Please come and buy some 10 millimeter and some 4.6 so that I have an open spot for my gimbal. You guys have a super awesome day. Stay safe, be nice to one another, and we'll catch you soon. Later.
Toodles. Awkward pause.